Yes, you see. Kim, relax. I know life is fast. It's high times and quick responses and quick results. Business is booming and bellowing. And expanding and spiraling. Yes, you must breathe. Baby, for me. I need you to breathe for me. I want you to slow it down, all the way down. Take time for yourself. And time to take time for yourself. You need to take some time. You should. This is what I would like you to consider as, prioritizing, as embracing, as accepting it as a reality. Kim Kardashian face. That's not nothing you finna be able to fuck away, Kim. You're not gonna be able to fuck that away. All right? It's gonna take you able to just drop everything. Completely drop. I know you're gonna find yourself without a grip. But we got you. We got you, Kim. You gotta let it all go. It's not gonna take nothing or no one else. It's in you already. Now this right here, right, like, and how it is, and the truth about it happens to be, when it comes to some things, sometimes it's better not to do nothing than to do the wrong thing. You know? When it comes to your destiny, though, and your purpose, that is the best action, right? But the best is not always, and the best is not always determined by good or bad, right? Good or bad and good don't always determine best or worst, right? I mean, just for me to say that out loud, I would imagine you could connect with the validity of it, with the actual, with the relevance, with the truth in it. It's not always the case. It's not law. However, in enough ways, whatever would make the opposite law, or that good and bad is best or worst, also makes that at least relatively true as well. That the best thing is not always the good thing. It's just really about your perspective. Like, I mean, if it's best, that should make it at least better than worse, right? In itself, I mean, what's good and bad if it's not best and worst, though? And that's the whole point. And that's another thing about words, like, it's like the good is good, but the best is the best, and the bad is the bad, but the worst is the worst, right? And sometimes the good is the worst, right? And sometimes the good is the worst. And sometimes the bad is the good. Justice is good, yes. Justice is the best. Justice is the best. Sometimes justice involves something that you would see as negative or wrong or even bad and not favorable. Sometimes justice can involve, something that in another context or from another approach or in another light would be condemnable. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you're talking about heavy duty, super tough work. You're talking about actually, like, you know what I mean? Higher modes of existing, of operating, right? Performing, right? There's no emotions involved with justice. That's vengeance, okay? Justice is balance. Justice is conscious. Justice is graceful. Justice is beautiful. It's orderly. It's structured. Yes? It's not always the first response. It's not always the most powerful action or option. It's the most proper. Sometimes the most proper is the most immediate because, of course, it comes as naturally. sometimes what is natural has to go through some different, you know, shifts and shaping and layers and levels before it can manifest to its fullest potential. And just, you know, it being natural, the different range of its degrees is going to be, you know, it's going to be realized, it's going to be actualized sooner or later, right? We got, you know, sooner or later, best, worst, good or bad, right? And, you know, that's the whole thing. As far as what's best for you to do or what's the best action to take, you can't do nothing without thinking. You can do plenty without thinking. And that's where that natural, your nature comes in. You know, your very impulse, your intuition, your instinct, your implication, your compulsion, as we were speaking about, your inspiration. Yes, you don't have to think about much about that, but it does lead to decisions, which should involve an element or an amount of actual conceptualizing or contemplating. Because you got conceptions and you got contemplations. Yes, you got conceptions and you got contemplations. You know, you got thoughts, then you got ideas, yes? You know what I mean? Then you got decisions. Okay? As far as what leads you to a thought, that leads you to an idea, that leads you to a decision. The idea usually involves one or more decisions in relation to a thought. I guess that's the I mean, mathematically, if we were to even break it down, and you might even, you know what I'm saying, this might even be a part of fucking psychology, psychiatry. I would imagine that's, you know, that is the difference between an idea and a thought, let alone an emotion and a thought. Right? Right? You got a decision. You know what I'm saying? Emotions. Anyway, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to get too diluted. I don't want to divert myself, digress. As far as a thought will lead you to an idea. An idea is a thought, but not every thought is an idea, right? An idea is like an advanced developed thought, yes? You can't have an idea without having one or more thoughts. I believe an idea must be a one and another thought or more in relation to each other. I would imagine that's what an idea is, right? Because even you have an idea, it's not going to be just a word. It's not just going to be a freaking, you know, a response, an interpretation of anything. And a said sort of perspective is going to be how you feel about that, basically, or what you think about what you're thinking about, basically. Is what an idea is, and then a decision is what you're gonna, is what that idea, the thoughts that idea brings you to, yes, and how those thoughts that idea that came from whatever two thoughts together, multiplied, divided, or subtracted from, the thoughts that derive from that idea, which the idea itself derived from thoughts, but now these are advanced, developed thoughts that turn into an idea, and then that idea in itself involves decisions, which are, you know, which decisions are composed of thoughts, right? But the decisions are in relations to ideas, because you're not even gonna make a decision until you have an idea to make a decision. You can have a thought about what decisions to take. But in order to make a decision, it takes the idea to do so. Because even if you realize, and that's what's funny. A lot of time, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to thinking that's done. When you're what did I say? You can't do nothing without thinking. What did I say? You can't. You're not gonna. Dang, what did I say about thinking? And did I say? I said as far as your actions. Yeah, you're not gonna take no actions without thinking. You know what I mean? We take involuntary, you know, we make subconscious actions all the time. That's what it's called, an impulse, right? And even your impulse is not it's an impulsive action. You know what I mean? You can have an impulse to do something and just deny yourself that action. Like a reflex, right? Now you got an impulsive action, then you have a reflex. Yes, you have instinctual reflexes, basically. Compulsive, instinctual reflexes, yes? Like if a nigga's about to swing at you, you can be stunned, tranquilized to a certain extent. But you're not always gonna be. Sometimes you're gonna have an instinctual reflex to dodge that punch. And that's not nothing you had to think about. A lot of times nowadays, motherfuckers try to give you a chance to think about it because, of course, we're so disconnected from our automated, automated thinking and automated action process and activity process, and so afraid of it. And also it's just very it's just a lot of commotion, a lot of chaos revolving that right now, because that's the very source of the very purpose of action in itself, the very purpose of deciding, the very purpose of conceptualizing and contemplating, right? Is to build that fucking drum, that well of will. It's to build that drum, right? That basin, that reservoir of will power. Yes? Right? So you can always decide to do something. Yes? You can always do whatever comes to mind as you think it, however, and for whatever propensity and whatever opportunity you have. Yes? Yes? Right? So you can always decide to do something. Yes? You can always do whatever comes to mind as you think it, however, and for whatever propensity and whatever opportunity you have. Yes? You can always do what you're used to doing, which it took a decision to start at whatever point you started. You may not have to really think. You can do it without thinking now. Now that you got 70 other homies that also do it with you and make sure that whatever you don't do, they gonna do for you and shit. That they learned from some other niggas that trained them how to do some shit. But even that is in itself, the more you do it, training or building, strengthening your will power, because you only have so much will to do what it is that you're still learning how to perform, how to execute, how to successfully do. Right? You can try to drive a car, but if you don't know how to drive a car, you can have all the will you want, you can have all the enthusiasm, you can have all of the fucking drive you want, but if you don't know how to drive, you're going to crash. You crash, and then so you're going to crash first, and then you crash once, then you try again, and you put more will in it, and then you crash faster. Or you don't crash. A miracle happens and you are able to crack your will reservoir and open up a whole nother chamber. And luckily, you drive long enough to where you learn how to not crash as you even adding more willpower to the shit that you're doing, because it's just that fluke of an amazing occurrence. But that's very, very rare. Okay? That's extremely uncommon and very improbable. What it's going to take is you taking your time more and not exerting so much will into learning what is possible as you define, as you master the action or process that you're pursuing, the performance that you are considering, that you have decided to entertain, to involve yourself in, to master, basically, right? And through that, and the different gauges and ranges of propensities and intensities of will that you're adding or decreasing, because as you might go full-fledged, you might go 80% the first time, and of course, you don't know how to drive. It's like you feel like you just want to do it, and you're just ready to do it. You're not afraid, you got courage. Hey, you still, even with courage, you still need discernment, you know what I'm saying? You still got to have discipline. You still got to have, even with confidence, you still got to have, confidence comes from success, you know what I mean? Achieving, otherwise it's delusion, it's arrogance. Like, I can do that, but you ain't never did it. You just don't want nobody to feel like that you're disabled or that you're, unable, right? But you just want to be able to say that you can do it. You know that if you were to try hard enough that you can learn anything, and that's fair enough, but you still ain't did it yet. So you gotta, you gotta kick that will down a little bit. And it's not about the will. The will is there for you to do whatever it takes, but it takes doing it. And sometimes doing nothing is better than doing the wrong thing. Is what I'm saying to you. Sometimes it takes not doing what is readily in front of you to do, because of course a lot is backwards. A lot is backwards in today's world. Most of it is mirror reflected flipped for one, and that's probably why. You know what I mean? It's backwards because it's inside out. You were looking at a reflection of it, for one, to begin with, right? So, the will, though, the will is very powerful. It's dormant until you draw upon your will. You see the case of the mother who lifted an 18-wheeler truck to free her child from up under it. She didn't think about that. She did not. If she was to even begin to think of it, her baby would still be trapped. Right? Now, that was not good to attempt, because she could have thrown her back out. And then she'd be sitting there with a bad back and her baby still be trapped. Right? But it was best because it freed her baby. Yes? You feel me? Now, it would have been the worst situation had her thrown her back out and the baby still trapped. That'd have been the worst situation. The worst would have came to worst at that point. But that's all in that approach, the time involved, and also the decision. You know what I'm saying? The idea in relation to the thought, as well as the impulse, as well as the willpower, as well as the instinct, as well as the reflex, right? We have these natural reflexes, right? We have an inspiration within us when it comes to not just singular activities or singular responses or just, everyday activities / tasks or options. When it comes to even career modes, when it comes to even long-term investments, long-term relationships, we have a fuller spectrum as far as our performance. And that is our life walk. You know what I'm saying? Our calling. That we feel within us, that instinct, that impulse, that reflex. A reflex is instant, but all of eternity is but a moment. Yes? So, and that's not nothing that thinking about will help you most to be able to appreciate. However, if you're thinking of things that automatically include the denial of that notion, then it's lessening the natural realization of it, at least to whatever degree and range in respects to your willpower. Yes? Right? So the best thing to do is what you're made to do. Right? Your purpose, your destiny is what you really want deep down and high up too. You know what I mean? Close up. Deep down and close up is what you want, is your purpose, is what you want. Is what will make you most peaceful in mind. It will give you not give you peace, but it will bring you back to peace on your way to freedom, on your way to bliss. Is your purpose, is what you want. It is the very desire that drives your passion. You know what I mean? You could take detours for your passion. You know what I mean? You can divert as well as exert different ranges and degrees of your passion in these, you know, particular or arranged in assorted directions. Because the passion is beautiful and the desire is even more beautiful. Yes? As far as life force energy though, and that being desire itself, you have a signature. You have your own signature desire. You have your own unique desire. It has to do with when you were born, when, like specifically when you were born, as far as even like, you know, the phase of the moon, you know, then the time of the day, the place on earth you were, the time of year, okay, literally, that all even influences your fucking purpose, right? So it's like, as far as destiny, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to like act like I know what I'm saying, for one. I'm talking to you about what obviously it must be. And the situation is where you came here with an assignment, and that has to do with the family that you're born to. It's no coincidence you were born in the very even year that you're born. You could have been born in 700 BC, right? But you were born right now, and where you were, by no accident, right? And that has to do with your destiny, and your destiny is linked to your purpose, just like your passion is linked to your desire, and your desire is linked to your passion. So I argue, and not to argue, but I contend, I present, I would suggest that the best thing to do is what you want to do. Because what I'm saying to you is, and what I thought of, what I basically just thought of, and I know you will fucking agree, but you won't get a chance to talk about this with nobody, because of course then it's like, what you gonna do afterwards? After you have this big, you know what I mean, super intense conversation, a big, you know, specifically precise information shared, what are you gonna do? But that's why I'm just saying it to where you don't have to nobody even have to know that you thought about it, okay? And not to say that you're not thinking about it on your own, but a lot of times we don't have the opportunity to bring certain subconscious considerations to the forefront of our mind, because it's like, you know, for what form, for what window do we have that opening? So as to, you know what I mean, really even examine our thoughts about a thought, without it having to be linked to whatever sort of decision that we've already made that brought us to it, or that we will be making based on the special occurrence or occasion, to where we're actually using our brain for what we want to use it for. Right? How much are you using your brain for what you want to use it for, so as to learn? What is the point of learning if it's not so as a tool towards some sort of project, performance that you're interested in doing? Well, there's a lot of learning that should be going on outside of what you would even think to learn. You know, and that takes following through on whatever the thoughts that you are deciding upon, the thoughts that do develop into ideas, and those ideas presenting different decisions. It takes you following through with all of that activity in your mind. That's important, to be able to have, you know, concise communication with people, conversations with other thinking people. That's one importance, rather. That's one benefit. That's one advantage. You know, I would suggest. However, you don't have to speak on everything you think about. You don't have to speak on every decision, idea that you're having. And I'm not saying every one of them. I'm saying being able to at least get in the practice of identifying and recognizing the style of the idea that it is. You know, it's like, it's a lot of good that we can do. you know, as far as like to enhance, to support, to enhance as well as advance already active arrangements here on Earth, you know, locally, globally, universally. But it's a lot of, but there's a lot of competition. It's usually sanctioned by economic interests, and economic interests denotes capitalist interests, right? Now, because we could say economic, but that's not really what we mean, because the economy in itself is a weapon of capitalism, right? It shouldn't have to be, and we want to take the economy and economic focus as a route towards contributing to and advancing and enhancing the dismantling of the capitalist system, which actually has coined the economy, which actually has shaped the economy and will continue to, because the economy is based and founded through capitalist means. Okay, this is the world we in. This is the facts. It's out of hand. It started with one idea, but it wasn't saw through all the way. Okay, that idea and those decisions that were taken before another one was taken or focused on more. Even if we was focusing on several or numerous ideas as we was taking whatever decision we took, it's still been going on and it's gotten out of hand. I don't think that the elitist, the inceptors, the implementers of this said current system saw it getting to this point. I mean, I won't say that. I know that they did, because it's all been a plan. It's all been a generational plan. But I don't think that they really understood life and love in the way that they've been able to now, over the time of it being improper and bad. No matter, regardless of how good it also is, or regardless of how best it may even be, that it has been bad or worst, you feel me? Because what happens is, like I said, as you change, what you understand changes, and as you grow, then the ideas that you have now are even that much more diverse. That's that much more, versatile. And you have certain ideas for reasons, and that's the whole point I'm saying. Like, you can tell which ideas are inspired by that higher design, and it has to do with destiny and purpose, you know what I mean? As far as just like the economy, because the economy is based on the ecology, right? There's no money without natural resources. Natural resources come from the earth, right? So the economy is the ecology, right? You can't even build nothing without nothing that comes from the earth, right? Metal, all that, everything, whatever you want to build, whether it's a house, that's wood, right? And entire real estate is the very backbone of the economy, right? Land itself. The ownership of land, nigga, is a very source, is a very, is a very stage, is the foundation of the economy, is the ownership of land, nigga, right? You can, aside from, nigga, the control of what's coming up out of the fucking dirt, okay? So the economy is the ecology, yes? Right? So that's the point. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? As far as the economy and all that shit. Yeah, I done forgot why I even mentioned the economy. What I was talking to you about basically is your destiny, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And your purpose on Earth. The purpose of the Earth, nigga, is directly tied to and definitely dictates and determines your purpose on this Earth, nigga. Okay, so let's keep it in perspective, cuz, right? do what you want to do more and more, because that will help to shape, to reveal to you your realization of what it is that you need to do, which is your purpose, which is your priority, should be, at least ideally, we want to move towards to where what is the best thing is the next thing, okay? And what is necessary now is priority. You know what I'm talking about? Was the conversation, yes? And we all have our own individual, personal legends, our own personal priorities. And a lot of times those get mixed up and twisted up, but we also have our own personal importance. And who's to say who is important or more or less and more important than to anyone else or to the larger spectrum of life, other than life itself, life being nature. Yes? Well, that's, you know what I mean? It's all on who you allow to be talking, and what you allow, you know what I mean? What you allow to be understood as even, you feel me? Relevant, like, you know what I mean? Like, right? So it's like, what you want to do is your core values, is your actual, what makes you who you are. I mean, as far as like what you want, it's like it always can be something that's not necessarily contrasting with your full purpose or destiny. And so that makes him that much, appealing to you, to where it's more, I mean, it's not, whatever it is, it's 50% or more not contrasting or interfering necessarily with your actual full purpose. Because like I said, it's all about gauging it. You know what I mean? You can't go full-fledged and you still feeling through your purpose, right? But if you start from the center, from the source, if you start from where that purpose even originates from, by self-reflection, by delving within, actualizing your own concepts and ideas, and actualizing your own vision, starting from just, a place of peace, a place of devotion, a place of clarity, for one, then you're going to at least subconsciously be able to keep that in mind and in the decisions that would come to you, because like I say, you're doing some thinking. We do thinking that happens just automatically. We have automated thinking that happens, yes. We have automated actions, but these are reflexes, yes. Like that woman who picked that thing up. She didn't have to think about that. She probably didn't think about it afterwards. She was just so happy to see the stress out of the face of her child. That's all that she could see, right? It was not comfortable with that situation. The fear was in its face. It was in danger. That's all that mattered. That's all that she had to see. That's all she had to know. That was enough for her to know to do whatever was in her power without having to think about it. To change it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you may not be able to do what you want, or it may be harder to, you feel like what you want to do is something that is out of reach for you. But are you really thinking about it? Because that's like even crazy to even have to admit that you think. But if you have had the chance to even consider what you really, really want to do, which is rare because we usually just go with whatever we can do, because we don't want to be greedy. We want to be humble. You know what I mean? It's like, shit, like we don't really necessarily be knowing what we want to do all the time. It's like, but you got to know what you want to do because you already do know what you want to do. You already do. You already know what it is that it is for you to do. And that is the best action to take. And that, in perspective is what it is that you want to do. Because you wanted to be born, to come to earth to begin with. Right? And you wanted to be born to do what it is that you were born to do. Right? This is what our ancestors documented to be read by anyone that they didn't even realize would be reading it, which they didn't actually write it down, to be honest with you. But it was passed as knowledge, as information, as lessons, as wisdom. Now, when it got written down, it's still not even correctly written down to this day. But the story is there in the hearts and minds and ears and the ideas of those who have not been taken out of the spectrum, taken out of the spectral, association of it through this modernization and capitalistic, imperialist agenda. And this is the facts. Okay? So you already know what you want to do, whether you've thought about it and decided upon whatever sort of idea surrounding it. That's what life is about, that's what, just understand that when you get to complaining about shit or, feel me? You know what I mean? Wishing you wasn't alive and shit or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Or wishing you was somebody else or born different or whatever the fuck. No, you don't really want that. Because if you really, really, really wanted that, the you who you are and always will be, regardless of if you are here on earth or not, chose what you chose and was happy about it, yo. You could have chose anything. You could have been born anywhere, anytime, cuz you chose to be who you are, my nigga. And that's the beautiful part of it. And what's cold is it's not about nobody else and what they think about it. Like nobody else may even understand it or agree with choosing to be who you are. You feel me? They might be like, well, shit, I don't know why a spirit would want to be you. But shit, you ain't supposed to know. That's for only you to embrace and celebrate. Only you can. You understand? Right? And that is the degrees and the ranges, right? So as to, operate and experiment with, for sure. Because like I said, sometimes it's best not to do the worst thing. Sometimes it's best not to do nothing than the wrong thing, because you got right and wrong, you got worse and best, right? You feel me? So that's what I'm just saying. It's like, and it's not about inactivity. At the same time, a lot of times we end up involving ourselves with actions that are taking away from true fulfillment, true enrichment that others said or opposite or different actions would be much more proper as well as wise to involve ourselves in. And that's happening more and more. And that's how, it's becoming even that much more easier to compare ourselves to each other. When there's no comparison, there can only be one you. It's not about what's, standardly accepted as quality, yo. It's not about that at all. You know what I mean? The quality is the authenticity, right? Of your true and singularly unique identity, which is incomparable to anything. Now, if you want to let somebody make you a label, you want to make somebody make you a component of this particular other program, which puts money in their pocket, then just know that that's what you're doing when you don't say, well, shit, what's the best thing for me to do? And that's what I want to do, right? And so that's why I'm encouraging you to do what you want to do, right? Because then in itself, even if you are wrong or you have a misunderstanding, a misinterpretation, if your idea is flawed as to and in reference to what it is you want to do, if you never even do what you think you want to do, then you know what I'm saying? You're tangling yourself even more, right? Even if you change what you want to do to what it is that you can do, or that it is that you have to do. Now, even if you need to do, because what you need to do is what I'm telling you is what you want to do, right? Your purpose is what you need to do, right? Your destiny is where you need to be at, yes? Right? Maybe not. Maybe you don't need to be there, but you definitely don't need to be nowhere else. You definitely don't need to be doing nothing else. Now, you need to survive in order to do anything. Right? You need to, you feel me? However, with faith and through faith, you got to understand something, like, ain't nothing impossible for one, right? And if you take you know what I'm saying? If you try to lean on what, you know what I mean, what you think, then you got to know, you got to understand, and you put in you put in the outcome in just your hands, when you're supposed to leave it on God's mantle. Okay? For one, pray about it for sure. Say, Allah, what is my purpose? What is my destiny? Right? Now, and don't stop praying till you understand it. And don't just, assume, and don't go with the first thing that come to mind. Say, okay, that seems interesting. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind as I'm doing what I gotta do out here. And I'm gonna continue to do what I got to do. Right? But what's beautiful, what's amazing, what's miraculous, my nigga, is the clouds will open up for you, yo. You will have the light of life within you. And all of light surrounding you, nigga, will come to meet that light. And you'll have so many options, and you'll understand that everything is your destiny. The only thing that is not your purpose, family, is what you want to make it to be. Is what you're fighting against the flow to try to implement, to try to demand, to try to claim as your right because you work hard enough for it. Like, yeah, that's one thing. That's one out of the endless others that are beyond your comprehension, because of course you keep an open mind to what it is that life says. You know what I mean? And as you have these ideas, which is going to shine light on decisions, see those decisions out, see those options out. Whatever one you choose, keep in mind what it is that you're not choosing. And like I said, sometimes it's best not to do anything than the wrong thing. Just because you have an impulse to reflect, or to have a reflex, or to have a, you know what I mean, to take action, to make a decision. I say roll with it. I'll say roll with it, honestly. I'm not going to tell you to be hesitant, because you can get trapped in the fear. As we said, fear is apprehension. But it also is the door to discernment. So it's like, we're talking about thoughts. So that's why it's just that much more important to be always thinking, and thinking deeper, and thinking more clearer. And not just doing enough thinking to get to a point to where you can just make a decision, and then that'll get you closer to where it is that you want to be done with whatever action, so that you can, whatever, you know what I'm saying, try to, seek this fulfillment. Like, it's all about service, first of all. What are you giving? How much more are you giving? And that's something that it's hard to do. It's hard for me, even myself, to do. It's to always remember what it is that I'm giving, like even to this point right now. And what's cold is like, that is, you know what I mean? Your purpose is to bring good to this earth, for one. That's everyone's purpose. That's just the beginning. If we're not all doing that first, then anything that we would even come up with is going to be that much more fucking demented, okay? And twisted off. And it is demented, and it's all twisted and fucking contorted, for sure. And a lot of our purposes involve contorted responses to what has been going on throughout the span of time. You know what I mean? It doesn't define it, though. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't, it's just like a way, it's just, you know what I mean? Because like I said, it's universal. It's not really one thing. And except for the only thing that it isn't is what God don't say it is. That's the only thing that it ain't. You feel me? A nigga asked me, what is your purpose? What is my destiny? I said, well, shit, man, a lot of times, we try to make it be what would be most pleasing to us, what would be, most appealing to us. Because not everybody's reward is the same, and this reward for me, no one else actually even could really appreciate it or enjoy it like I could. So that must be what my purpose is, right? Shoot, I mean, this is good enough for me, or this is better than anything else that I could have taken too. But it's not about what you want it to be. It's not about what you decide. It is about what you decide though, because you can always decide to focus on what it is you choose or what you prefer, right? But like I said, there's a larger purpose, there's a larger destiny for life itself. But like I said, there's a larger purpose, there's a larger destiny for life itself. For life itself. And that's something that is going to be either explained away to you before you even realize that you're making a decision in reference and in respects to what you understand that larger purpose to be. Or it's something you're going to have to ignore in order to make any sorts of progress towards the realm of exploring the ideas in regards. Exploring the ideas. I don't know if that's, if that's connecting with you, you know what I mean? That's some, this is for the thinkers. This is for those that are doing, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The cultivators out here. I'm not speaking to teenagers. I'm speaking to teenagers because nowadays teenagers is growner than the parents. You know what I'm saying? I gotta raise both my parents. You hear me? So I made my heart go out to you, 12-year-old nigga listening to this. You know what I mean? Real talk, because you capable. This kid's that graduated fucking Harvard College at 9. This kid's that graduate from Stanford fucking Oxford College at 11, nigga, with doctorates, nigga. It's 17-year-old brain surgeons out here, homie. Talking about thoughts and decisions. Thoughts and decisions. It's 70-year-old brain surgeons. You think it ain't? You think it ain't? You think it ain't? You think it ain't? I would not be surprised to find a 17-year-old brain surgeon at this point in 2023. But the point is, God got a plan for you. God got a plan for you. And you particularly, and all of us as people in general. Right? So the very decision that you make is tied in with those two sides of it. And like I said, it's not ever one thing except for exactly what it is. And then that is what you are going to assume without serving. Without serving. You feel me? So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Do what you want first. You can think about what you want. You don't have to. You can do what you want without thinking about it. Please be thinking about what you want to do too, because that's very fun in itself. Even the thought of what do you really want to do. You got to kind of consider what you can do, what options are in front of you or could be in front of you or that you would like to be in front of you. You got to think about what you would never think about that is even possible to do. You know what I mean? And that take, you got to be at work at 5 o'clock. And before you go to work, then you got to finish washing your car. You got, you got to open up this fucking account and do all this extra shit. You know what I mean? You got to do fucking voice recognition and two-way authentication and all this extra shit. That take about 7 minutes. You know what I mean? Then you didn't do it right, so that's another 7 minutes. Oh, damn, you forgot one thing, so that's another 7 minutes. And before you know it, then you even forgot to even iron your pants. Let alone you got kids, go pick up from school, God. So be thinking about what you want to do. That's gonna take more thinking that you even set out to do, because it's, you know what I mean? It's gonna open up new ideas that you didn't expect to have. And that may take even, cross-referencing, investigation, and, you know what I mean? And confirming through living. So it's like, yo, you feel me? Like, you know what I mean? You're going to end up just, taking what you can get. That's what end up happening. You know what I mean? When it's a way to be able to see, to even sense it, for one. And that takes from you doing what the fuck you want to do. For whatever happens that you could do, you say, well, shit, I wouldn't even want to do that. You don't know if you would want to do it because you don't be doing what you want to do anyway. So shit, you just going to do it and worry about what happened, whatever the fuck afterwards. Because shit, you know what I mean? It's for me because I can do it, and that's fine. That's true enough, but you know what I'm saying? At the same time, there's always this other little area, this other little, you know what I mean, performance that you can be doing too. You know what I mean? You can be improvising. You feel me? You can be having an improvisational performance. You know, just down bow. You dig? Real talk though. You know what I'm saying? figuring it out as you go, as opposed to, you know, keeping the safe mode, you know what I mean? Or going and learning how to drive with a fucking instructor and shit. Fuck all of that, nigga. Learning the streets, I mean. It costs money. You got money for an instructor and shit. Fuck out of here. Better study, nigga. Pass that test. You got 3 tries before you gotta wait, before you can even try again on that test, you feel me? Go ahead and grab that. But you know what I mean? Be driving as much as you can. You gotta do what you wanna do. If you wanna drive, then you gotta go practice driving. Yes? You gotta do what you wanna do. If you wanna drive, then you gotta go practice driving. You gotta master driving before you can even take the test in order to certify your eligibility to legally drive. Is that not the case? You can't go take no driving test you ain't never drove, but you ain't even supposed to be driving until you licensed to drive, cuz. So that's the whole thing. And if you get caught driving without a license while you practicing to learn how to drive, nigga, then that's on your parents' insurance. And if your parents ain't got insurance, then they losing their whip. That car is impounded until they get proof of insurance to get that car up out of that motherfucking impound, And I take court appearances. And we was already supposed to have been at work at 5 o'clock. That's why he was trying to drive there anyway. Right? I'm just saying, like, okay? And even if you don't get caught and if it's not your parents' car, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? That shit, don't let the car be stolen. What the fuck you doing driving a stolen car anyway, if you can't even drive, nigga, you ain't got no license, first of all. First of all, nigga, what you doing driving a stolen ass car, nigga, and getting caught by the police? You supposed to not even get caught by the police, you driving a stolen ass car and shit. Feel me? So now say this, for instance, the car is not stolen and it's not your parents' car, right? But you ain't got no license, you underage, you can't even be driving without a license, for one, right? First of all, who the fuck waits till they 16 and eligible to even go take the test to start to learn? Nigga, I was learning how to drive at 8 years old. Exposition Boulevard. Oldsmobile Cutlass. Whoever car it is, don't get caught. But say for instance the police fuck with you, which, you know, they cannot fuck with you. They can choose not to fuck with you. They see you. Don't nothing happen and everybody don't know. But if you're going too hard and not structuring your approach, they can't be letting you crash all into shit. You know what I'm saying? They see you and maybe perhaps they don't see you. Perhaps, you know what I mean, you just moving gracefully enough, you answering your calling to where it goes undetected. To where before anybody would even ever be able to suspect anything, you done already mastered driving and don't ever get pulled over for nothing, so you don't even need to go get no fake ass license, which signs over your fucking sovereignty rights anyway to claim yourself a citizen. Right? Now you're not a sovereign. Now you're not your own nation, which we're all born our own nation to begin with, coming out of our mother's birth. Yes? By maritime law, which is the law of the water, which there's one law of the land and there's the law of the water, you understand me? Right? And that's why Yemaya, the goddess of the sea, is also the mother. Right? And this comes from the same source that will tell you that you have a destiny and you chose your destiny and you chose exactly where you was born and when you was born and who you was born. And you got an assignment as you come here outside of bringing good to the earth, which is every human or any yon's assignment to be born at all. That's just the base. And this comes from the same source that will tell you that you have a destiny and you chose your destiny. So if we're not all bringing good to the earth together, then like I said, it's a lot of different, you know, contorted and distorted, you know, actualizations. That's just the base. So if we're not all bringing good to the earth together, then like I said, it's a lot of different, you know, contorted and distorted actualizations and acclamations of that said destiny/purpose. But also like I said, there's not ever just one way. There's every way except for your way. Right? It's God's plan. Which that's still your way. You know what I mean? It's for you, it is, at least. Right? It's for you, in that it's yours. But for you to decide is only for you to to act on. You know what I mean? The decision is already made. It's just the decision for you not to ignore it, to deny it. You know what I'm saying? To replace it with a different choice or option. It's gonna take you, like I said, doing what you want to do, right? You got to do what you want to do first as much as you can. And like I began to say, if you change what you want to what it is that you need, my whole suggestion is that you need to do your purpose. You need to do what you want, because with your purpose is really what you want, right? Hear me and listen to what I'm saying to you. All that I'm saying, the different parts that I'm saying. That's why I'm still even saying it. Right? Your purpose is what you want. Your purpose is what you want. Right? That's the whole idea of a purpose. It's not about what you have to do that you wouldn't even want to do. That's not even possible. You're born to do what it is that you came to Earth to do, and that naturally, just even if it's only in your spirit so far, only in your subconscious mind, only in your heart, it's still what you want. Your purpose is what you want. It's really what you need. It will be the most fulfilling and to you, and you will be fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? And that's the very definition of sin in itself. Aside from anything done outside of faith, sin is not to fulfill what it is that you can, that you have the capacity for. It's to fall short. It's to not do what you could have done. It's sinning. It's not necessarily wrong so much in that it's improper. It is wrong. And what makes it wrong is that it's not the best thing. Not that it is good or bad. It is merely not best. Is it the worst? Well, if you continue to not do all that you can on purpose, it's going to take you definitely consciously deciding that over and over and training your will to not do what you're supposed to be doing, which is that's what we see, and that's what you call evil. Yes, it's sinfulness. Because you can sin, but that'll make you sinful. Unless you're more sinful than you are, of course, righteous. And as we spoke about righteousness, that being to know that what you are doing is the best thing to do. Beyond doubt. Beyond question. Beyond confusion. Even automatedly, without having to think about it. Because it's already in you, just like your purpose and destiny. You know what I mean? However, if you already decided to ignore it in whatever other actions you're taking, whether they're conscious actions or automatic actions or, compulsive or a training that you've already been able to master without thinking about now, if it's not acknowledging and considering your connection to the larger picture, future, past, and present of all eternity, which is one instance in itself, then it's sinful. It can become sinful, full of sin. Unrighteous. So your purpose is not unrighteous. Right? Your destiny is not unrighteous. Right? Are you righteous if you are actualizing your destiny? Yes, you are. Quite. Because it's difficult. It's a challenge, yo. It's a battle. It's a war within yourself and outside. Because we in the law, and that goes to that's telling to the fact that of the connection of everything, of how your own personal destiny, your own personal legend and purpose can bring you towards friction and difficulty in your outside surroundings, increasingly as you pursue and as you actualize and realize and fulfill your purpose and destiny. There's a balance because, of course, anything that is your true purpose and destiny is going to enhance as well as, you know, bless other people, right? Now you can go and just focus on blessing people and say, well, shit, this is my purpose because it's blessing people. Nah, yeah, okay, well, sure. I mean, that's, you know, that's an element of your purpose, is that it would be blessing people, but you blessing people ain't an element. Don't make it towards your purpose, motherfucker. You feel me? Because you want a badge, a UNICEF badge, to be able to say that you help some people, or, you know what I'm saying, you want to have a certificate saying about your donation and all this extra shit. And it may not just be for show. It could be just for you. But just keep doing it, is all I'm saying. And you're going to be able to see exactly what your full purpose is. And that will help you get some great momentum on really what it is specifically for you directly. You know what I mean? It's better than, you know what I mean, doing the wrong thing for sure. You know what I mean? And you're able to do something while you're not doing the wrong thing, as opposed to do nothing while you're not doing the wrong thing. And that's even more admirable. You feel me? You know what I mean? However, you know what I'm saying, it ain't about, you know, in comparison to the next nigga, or, you know what I'm saying? You know, instead of, or, you know, it's not about comparison at all. It's about, you know what I mean, authenticity. And it's about, you know, genuineness. You feel me? It's about sincerity. It's about sincerity. That's what it's about. And able to be sincere in your movements, you know, and have your decisions be just that much more powerful and impactful and significant. Have your decisions be just that much more powerful and impactful and significant, without having to try to make a point, without, you know, having to try to make a statement. You know what I mean? It's gonna send a message in itself. However, a lot is taboo. You know what I mean? A lot goes without saying, and there's a lot going on that is very unnecessary to begin with. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's based on the little actions that we don't take that keep these larger sinful fucking activities and systems going. They say the way evil flourishes is for the good to do nothing. That's the only way it can flourish. Because the good doing what's best is automatically going to cancel out any evil, which evil would only be what anyone doing or there occurring what is not best to occur, which is less than what would bring good to the earth. In a fuller perspective, like, it's simply cut. Like, there's no way around it. Like, I mean, you can try to justify it with these different definitions and principles and laws and commandments and all these other things and teachings and, you know, and fucking instructions. But it's gonna come down to that. It's definitely gonna include what I just said to you. In fact, not only does it include it, it is the underlining factor. It is the very underlining shape of the entire significance of it, the whole relevance of it, the entire lesson, the fuller universal lesson. You know, you could take part of it and try to use it to your advantage and to manipulate control of people's said willpower, people's said destiny energy. But even that is going to crumble away eventually. Even that is going to dissolve and reveal where any particular one person or group of people in union are deciding to remain more sinful or righteous, more purposed or fucking, you know what I mean, pointless. You know what I'm saying? More, you know, destined or fucking decisioned. You know what I'm saying? Destined, or you could say diverted, distracted, you know what I mean? Deluded, deterred, basically. Diverted, distracted. It's all part of the same thing. To be honest. Deluded. And it's like I said, you can take a curved route, detour, to get to your destination, and it just takes more time. But then on the way, you're able to do even more good through the bad that you are encountering, that you don't focus on so much, but just You know what I mean? That direction you took is just what it involved, but you know where you're going at least. You have a destination, your destiny. Your purpose is what you are not ignoring in your heart, or not ignoring in your heart. The very voice within you is guiding you, as opposed to whatever else that you're allowing to direct you, allowing to accept as an, as an authority, basically. As an authority, basically. So, whatever that means to you, you know what I'm saying? It's still up to you to do, to take action, one action over the next, every day, every moment. It's no limit to what you can be doing except for the limit you place on what it is. So, what is it that you want? Do what you want to do to begin with, please. Even if you change it to what it is that you have been doing, even if you just accept it and say, well, look, I do want to do just regular, standard, bland things too. It keeps everyone happy. Everyone's comfortable. I like that. I want that. Yes, you want that too, like you said. But what the fuck else do you want? I understand being humble and modest, and you can't get what you want all the time. But one time out of all them other times, nigga, what is it that you would even want? Do that shit. Right? Gotta do it. And the more you're not doing more of what you would want to do, that's more time and thought energy you're going to have to put in tracking and identifying and recognizing where it is that you're even able to do what you would want to do. Enough to where you can do that, enough to where you even know if you really want that or not. And that's the point of what I'm saying. You got to do what you want to do in order to see what it is that you actually need to do, because what you need to do is what you want to do. What you need to do is what you want to do. What you want to do is your purpose and destiny. You may not even know what that is, though. But that is only because you don't know what you want. And even if you think you want something that is not your destiny and purpose, you have to do it in order to see that. And once you are able to do it, then you can see. Whatever that involves, whatever difficulty, whatever sort of struggle, whatever sorts of changes that takes you through, whatever thoughts and ideas and decisions you encounter. Whatever thoughts and ideas and decisions you encounter. Yes. It doesn't take, being all super articulate and fucking conceptual and intellectual. It does take you continuing, though, and finishing and mastering. Okay? And being honest. And being creative and resilient as well as resourceful for whatever range and propensity it applies. I can't stress it enough. Niggas say, what's my destiny? I need to realize my destiny. Well, shit, man, it's right in front of you. It's right behind you. Like I said, you could take one route. You feel me? But long as you know where you're going, then you can't, you're always on your way. You know what I'm saying? It's 360 degrees. You feel me? It's 360 degree range. So you can, Like I said, you could turn right around and it'd be a one step to where you need to go because it's directly behind you. But if you start, you're going to eventually get to that point that was right behind you. You continue on your path. Whatever decision you decide in, though, you got to stay on that decision, my nigga, and see that decision all the way through. And if you're making a decision based on the wrong things, then that's your angle. You feel me? That's your angle. Now, if you take the time to decide correctly, then that's going to turn you. You're going to be able to look 360 before you take a step. Then you're going to realize where you're trying to get to is right behind you. But if you just taking whatever decision because of what you want, you know what I'm saying? And it's not always our fault, but that's what God made the fucking structure as well as the process and the procedure of activity for. So that eventually, in finishing, in continuing, in redoing, in mastering, if you ain't crashing. Or at least once you crash, if you're able to, you know what I'm saying, get back behind that wheel. Because if you crash your whip, then folk, you got to get another whip now. Or if you don't crash it too bad because you ain't, you actually, you know what I mean, you allowing yourself not to be so nervous to where you able to figure something out. No, you don't even know how to do the brake, but if you got somebody next to you saying, okay, now brake, or they fucking jump out and put the brake and brake for you because they see that you don't know what you're doing, then you ain't gonna crash your car that bad. You might just dent the fender, but you can still drive it and try again in a different direction or with less fucking determination this time. Right? Because you don't know what you're doing yet. Right? Which you can learn without having to do so much. You can sit in the lap of somebody and they press your feet for you. You know what I'm saying? Or they, you know what I'm saying? You can be with somebody that knows what they're doing. Or you can just not be so anxious and take your time figuring it out. That's what I'm saying to you. And that's likened to, you know, the 360 perspective, the 360 consideration, you know what I mean? Contemplation, right? You got contemplation, and you got conceptualizing, and then you got contemplation. And you got conceptualizing, and then you got contemplation, right? You're going to conceptualize with the conceptual. You conceptualizing the action you want to take. And contemplating is how to take that, is how to do what it is you want to do. You know, if no one is there to tell you, or even if they told you, but you don't fully understand because you got to do it in order to understand, it's going to take you taking the time. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take you taking the time and being cautious about the different risks involved. Right? So, yeah, man, that's the shazzle drizz right there. You know what I mean? As far as like, yeah, you got to keep doing it, man. You got to do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. You know what I mean? And see what it is that you want to do. Ask yourself what it is you want to do. You have to. Otherwise, not only are you not, otherwise you're sinning, my nigga. Otherwise you are literally sinning, cuz. And you know it. And that's what and what's funny about it is like, that's what leads to motherfuckers getting involved with all this shady, shifty, shadowy ass, slimy, sinful shit, yo. Like, however you want to justify whatever reasoning you want to try to explain it away, it's all based on, oh, well, shit, you know, I was just, shit, life is shit anyway, you know what I mean? Shit, this is hell anyway, right? You know what I mean? If we only hear it's torture, you know what I mean? No, we hear it's torture because it's a training, it's a, you know what I mean? It's a, you feel me? You're supposed to get through it towards the betterment, you know what I mean? You take the lesson of it, not the desperate of it. You feel me? Take the lesson of it, not the desperate of it. Like, and I've been in the corner too, man, before, man. And I pray not to get back to another dark place that I don't prefer to be at, man, because I done been there enough in my life, my nigga. I done been there enough in my life, cuz. I promise you, bro. But I never, you know what I mean, throw my hands up like, well, shit, you know what I mean? Next time, I'm gonna be the one putting people in dark places. Because that's whack, that's gay. That's weak. It happens. More so than it does not happen nowadays. And that's another example of not doing shit that's best not to, that's wrong, until you can do something that's at least good. You know what I mean? That's the example of not doing instead of doing the wrong thing. Right? Because if that's what you feel like doing, shit, you can't do that. I mean, you gotta be inspired to take action. You know what I mean? You don't have to, but if you ain't got no instructions, if you already ain't got no instructions, that's what it's better than not to do. You know, better to do than not, than it's worse to do. Then it's like you may have an impulse, you may be inspired to do, you know, to take retaliation towards vengeance. You know what I'm saying? Towards, you know, spiteful sort of, you know what I mean? Fucking, you know, self-defeatist, suicidal activities, which is, you know what I mean, to manifest destruction, to manifest it. You know, you automatically are here with an assignment to build, but you know, not building is not necessarily destructive. You know, it can become destructive is what I'm saying though. You know, in a fuller spectrum, right? So that's the point, and that's real. I'm not saying blaming all sin on niggas not doing what they want to do, because obviously they wanted to sin, right? But that's not really what they wanted. Deep down, that's not really what they wanted, and that's the whole point of why you would even reform somebody. That's why you rehabilitate a person, right? That's why we can even forgive people, yes? Because they paid their dues, right? They may have changed to the person that they were initially supposed to be. Well, shit, if they was all, you know what I mean? If they ain't no hope for them, then shit, I mean, that's after they done already committed like the craziest sin now. Well, shit, I mean, where's the breaking point? You feel me? What is the gay, you know what I'm saying? Now, some things are really crazy, right? Some shit is crazy to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You take, you know what I'm saying? A mass shooting is crazy, right? You know? That's crazy. It's way worse than stealing a bottle of water, or, you know what I mean? Or stealing a fucking porno magazine or some shit. Because it's already embarrassing to be buying the shit, and you underage to buy it to begin with. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's still a law, and you're still breaking the law, right? And you can still go to jail for stealing. Stealing is stealing. Just like killing is killing, yes? It's still the same sin, yes? They say the only unforgivable sin is blasphemy, right? Right, so what makes killing more wrong than stealing? It's still a sickness, it's still a imbalance, a retardation of that person's spirit, which is their mind, basically. They may have the wrong idea about something, right? You give them time, a little bit more time for killing than you would for stealing, to think about that shit, yes? To think about that shit. And then you evaluate if they're eligible to have another try. But then they still free walking around able to make the decision to do the same shit they already done did. Let alone everybody else out here free that ain't made that decision yet. Yes? So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, oh, you not doing what you want to do leads to sinning. But I'm not saying that that's not what it is either. Right? Because what's sin? Right? Because what's sin? Sin is to fall short. That's what sin is. Sin is, as I read, the only sin is to do anything that you do outside of faith. Faith in what? Faith in love, faith in God, faith in humanity, faith in purpose. Faith in a purpose, a higher purpose for life itself. A good purpose, right? A righteous, faith in righteousness. Faith in life, right? Faith in that what you want, what would want being possible. What you would truly want being real. Faith in reality. And the reality is you were born to smile. Okay, this is not a place of misery, right? It is, but it's not all it is. You were born to smile, okay? You were born to smile. And the reality is, you were born to smile, okay? You know what I mean? It's always ranges in degrees, right? And the optimum degree, of course, is bliss, right? When everything is aligned, which things become unaligned, and then become aligned, and there's a dance as well as different waves. At its concentrated optimum function is all love. It's all love, right? And it always is all love. It's just the lenses that we see love through. It's just the directions and angles that we're turned, right? So what is sin? Well, the very word sin itself, where the term comes from, which is Jewish. I wrote down the actual Jewish word. I don't necessarily speak Hebrew because I want to learn Sanskrit before I really kind of can even begin to learn so much other languages. I really feel like the sound designation is relevant. Like, you know what I mean? Like me, I'm a rhyme sayer, so I automatically think in just matching tones And it's amazing to me that a lot of the healing hymns in Sanskrit rhyme in the original language, just like the Tao did, right? The Tao Te Ching rhymed in Chinese, right? But now when you translate it into English, the concepts of what they're saying doesn't always necessarily rhyme with each other. However, in the Chinese language, my nigga, the very Tao Te Ching itself, a lot of it, the majority of the shit rhymed, my nigga. That's phenomenal. And that's not even English words. And me being an English fucking MC, I'm not an MC, okay? I'm not an MC. I'm a rhymer, right? I'm a poet. I'm an MC. I'm not gonna say I'm not an MC. I can't even say that 3 times. But an MC that's what he does. That's like, you know what I mean? You got a doctor, then you got a, you got a fucking health practitioner. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got a doctor, and then you got someone that is healthy, that knows what a doctor does, but doesn't necessarily get paid to be a doctor. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can go to a person and he can heal you faster than a clinical doctor could. And even more, holistically, you feel me? More properly. However, that's not his particular, official profession. It's only that I'm not an official. That's not my official profession, and ne'er would it ever only be that's what I'm doing, even though that is what I do as well. But I don't do it as much as I could, which is sinful. If you're gonna do anything, you gotta do it. You gotta finish it. You gotta do more of it, and at least do enough of it to say that you do it to what it deserves your involvement with it to be, right? And I'm not necessarily sinning as much as I am righteous as far as my MCing, but there's elements regarding it and surrounding that, and it's like me, I'm very pure with my shit. It's not that I'm not an MC, it's just at the same time, when it comes to memorizing some shit to impress you, I'd rather be focused on the next rhyme in the meantime, especially if that's the case. Now it's different, like, you know what I'm saying? I said one rhyme already, and I didn't already recorded my shits, and I'm able to refer back to the recording, because that's really kind of how I set out to actually fulfill, to perform this whole little involvement with MCing. Is I figured, if I'm an MC, then there's no reason I shouldn't be recording songs. And it's not that I need to record it to remember it, but that's just how involved I end up becoming. That's just the activity that I definitely did decide upon and pursue and develop, as far as just creating all type of new sorts of joints. Because me personally, I got joints, and all my joints are just like my first joints. You feel me? Every one of my shits I write can apply to many things, and there's nothing special about that. It's way better fucking rhymers as well as writers as well as MCs than me, way better. And so that's the only reason why I'm just kind of reluctant in saying that I'm an MC, because it's like, I don't want you to try to think of an actual real MC and be like, well, shit, nigga, that's an MC right there. Yeah, those are the MCs. Me, shit, I'm not a poser. I'm not a fucking wannabe. I'm an artist. I'm a universal, artist, and all of my shit is connected, for one. As far as like performing on stage, that's not a problem either. You know what I mean? I'm over it though. A lot of it is just very super whack. You know what I mean? The whole game is whack right now, to be honest with you. The whole game is whack right now. Like, as far as getting bread, that's a whole nother situation. As far as getting bread for your rhymes and shit, guys, this is a way about going about it. You know what I mean? It's been enough niggas kicking rhymes and able to drop a rhyme on the drop of a dime. You know what I mean? And it was cold as like, shit, man, I haven't learned Sanskrit. I haven't went to school for etymology. These are plans. These are all what I set out to do. These are all part of my fucking path, life path, right? What have diverted me from that is just the challenges that come up. And right now, it's not that I'm focusing on those challenges. I'm just dealing with the challenges. I'm moving through these challenges at the time, to where it's like, as far as like taking the time to memorize my shits and make sure that I'm performing them, it's not a stretch. It's not a lot for me to do. I just like to do things with my niggas. And we kind of really dispersed out right now because it's too much for motherfuckers to handle, to see, you know what I'm saying? To see free-minded individuals just celebrating life. And in the meantime, you know, we can all move towards it together to be celebrating life. You feel me? It's like, God know I'm dope. I kick my rhymes from between me and my creator, yo. You know what I mean? And the other creatives, to be honest. Like, if you don't even kick rhymes, you're gonna really be intimidated by my rhymes, because you're gonna second guess your even fucking you're gonna second guess your very fucking coolness at all, nigga. You can be like, well shit, nigga, if I'm that cool, why I can't kick a rhyme like that? Yeah, I don't know why you can't. I don't, you know what I mean? That's what I said. It's like everybody wanna be a rhymer, right? Shit, is that really what you wanna do? Is that your purpose, nigga, to be a rhymer? I think so, nigga. It's more to rhyming than you really realize, my nigga. A writer and a scribe. And every adult was a writer and a scribe when it came to, you know, the thinking community, historically speaking, before it was diverted into these thinking individuals then now creating laws for other non-thinking other motherfuckers to follow. And that's where you even get the word politics from, is from these thinking individuals. For the Greek word polis, which is the city, right? They came up with cities, yes? We used to have tribes and villages before, yes? Even though, you know, they didn't even make castles, cuz. Anyway, that's a whole nother situation. As far as me explaining to you, hey, look, bro, this is sacred, nigga, this is sacred inscriptions. What the fuck you mean? You understand me? I don't even, nigga, shit, a nigga like me will transform, nigga. I would literally motherfucking evolve, nigga. I would instantly evolve in front of you, nigga, if I was to remember half of the rhymes I got right now, because right now I probably could remember maybe about 10% of them, maybe about 15, 16% of my fucking rhymes I remember them, right? It's not that I don't remember, it's just that I'm not practicing reciting them, right? It's not that I really want to, I just know that I deserve to be able to whenever the fuck I feel like it. But, you know, a lot of things don't happen that, you know, that should be happening, and that's fair enough. You know, that's a sacrifice I can make. You know, because really, if I had to choose between drawing and painting and spitting rhymes, that's a hard one. But coming down to it, I'd rather draw and paint, man. You know, and that's really why this shit's happening. Like, niggas be like, well, shit, nigga, you can do both, hella dope. But, nigga, first of all, why the fuck you even know that, cuz? I don't know you because you don't know me. And you don't know me because I don't know you, nigga. If I don't know you, you don't know me, nigga. First of all, homie. If I don't know you, you don't know me, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, like say, when I want to mention somebody that's famous based on what the fuck they doing, you know this guy? Nah, I ain't never met cuz. How the fuck I know him? And he don't know me, so I really don't know him, because the nigga don't know me unless he do know me. And even if he heard of me or know of me, don't mean that a nigga know me. And just because a nigga might even know me don't mean I know him. Okay? Have I heard of his shit? Do I like his shit? Well, shit, I love pussy. As far as liking a nigga or what he doing or what he ain't doing, if he's sinful or righteous, nah, shit, that ain't for me to think about or decide on, homie. My ideas are surrounding a realm of other fucking contexts as well as propensities of art. Right? So, yeah, that's another conversation as far as like that's concerned. As far as like, what am I, who am I, and what I am I? How do I mean the point of what I am and what I'm doing? Shit, I done forgot already, okay? You know what I mean? I done already forgot. Niggas want you to explain yourself. Like, people feel like you owe them an explanation nowadays. And that's because when it comes to speaking and when it comes to, you know, expression, when it comes to communication, when it comes to us being able to meet our thoughts together through this exchange of speech. That's the whole point. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We collect, we mobilize, then we reconvene. When we reconvene, we meet the minds and share concepts. Yes? Now, if there's drums playing, then we automatically gonna be moving our bodies. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, and I think this must have been how the the first MC was created. This must have been how the first MC was created. Our words are gonna start dancing. Our words is gonna, we're gonna be sitting around in a circle, and we're gonna be far enough away from the drums so we can actually hear our voices and the drums at the same time, and just haphazardly out of nowhere, just, you know what I'm saying, a special magical miracle moment. And our fucking words are gonna be dancing. We might even be dancing while our words start to dance and shit. You feel me? And by dancing, I mean them motherfuckers gonna connect. And you're gonna make a fucking rhythmic for the melodic sort of, display of art through the sound of it. You feel me? Oh shit, what's not? And then this is, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you just gonna catch on, it's gonna be like a link chain reaction. You know what I mean? And then we just got niggas just kicking rhymes. The Cypher Society is born from there. You know? It just happened to happen haphazardly. Don't get me wrong, man. Like, I look up to the rappers, man. Definitely a rapper, but I'm not one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not one thing, bro. Like, I'm an artist, and that's what a rapper is, an artist. I'm ashamed to have to admit that I don't even remember half my rhymes. I am. But I have to ask myself, why is that? Because it takes me having to fight to try to prove that I can. Shit, fuck what you feel and how you think and what you know what I mean? Fuck what you think about it, nigga. Let me remember one of my rhymes and be able to kick it to you. Be like, okay, yeah, that was dope. But it's more to it than that, you know what I mean? It's all an element of entertainment, and it's an industry, and it's a business. You know what I mean? And you gotta respect the fact that it is, you know what I mean? You gotta be able to stay on your toes, and if you got somebody's ear, then they gonna have to be able to, bend you up sometimes. They're gonna be able to, whatever the customer says is right, you feel me? And whatever your audience is going through, then now you are connecting yourself to that through them connecting to what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'd even need to remember my shit, to be honest, because honestly, in the proper setting, right? In the most natural setting, that's why my name is Ceremonious or Calypso to begin with, because the Calypso singers were the channelers, right? They would improv a message on the spot, right? Now, it's not necessarily hard to do that. It don't have to be super intricate and extra, developed and, overly, overly fucking, complicated as far as like the concepts that you're presenting or the words that you're saying. As long as you're feeling it, then you can always get there. Like a lot of times, as long as you're in your element, you can just pocket your, you can kind of like centralize the energy, that willpower, and able to just exert the whatever conceptions, the ideas that you're having as you're having the idea. Because now you're thinking, talking, and speaking, or you're thinking and you're speaking at the same time, right? But you're also deciding what to say as you're thinking of what to say, right? Because you think of a word, you think of everything at once. And that is the evidence that rhyming is even illustrating. Take it from me, my nigga. You sit here and hear me say 3 words for the same word, and all of them will apply. And that's why I include them. And it'll fuck around, and in taking you all the way around what I'm saying, bring you even that much more closer through what I'm saying to you. Right? And it's all in the speed of how I say it to you, though. It's all in the rhythm that I keep. It's all in the, you know what I'm saying? It's all in the syncopation as well as the cadence. You know what I mean? And that's a challenge, and that takes work, and that's why I'm only so much of an MC is what I'm saying to you, right? So, but it's not that I'm not that. But if I'm not that at all, then I can't even say that I am, is what I'm saying, because I'm 4,000 about my full-fledged, and I'm ashamed. Yeah, it's a travesty. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna pay, and I pay for it all the time. I be having to pay for it. You know what I mean? Hey, it's a sacrifice. Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices, man. I don't have to make that sacrifice much, you know what I mean? As much as I do, I don't, because I still be inspired to write things. I'm still, you know what I mean? I still catch the rhythms or whatever the fuck. So it's not even about that though. That's not what's the most important thing. The most important thing is that whatever it is that you would say is improving upon silence. You know what I'm saying? It can be universally applicable. It can be enriching, encouraging. It can be healing. That's the point of it, is that it is medicine. It is actually a function. There is a positive purpose as well as function for it. And that's what makes me have to continue whenever I get the notion. And a lot of times it's been enough times where I didn't, and then that same notion came back, or the same sort of energy, the same sort of feeling of that notion came back to me, and it was like, okay, well shoot, and last time I didn't write this down. Let me write it down this time. Because this is, I want to mark this, right? I want to be able to refer back to this so that I can improve on it. I can move to a more developed, advanced sort of idea based on the conclusion I'm making in this statement, in this message that I'm recording. Right? Because it's like, you have the truth, but the truth is deep, bro. The truth is deep, and that's the whole idea of wisdom as opposed to knowledge. Right? Knowledge is the steps of the ladder, but wisdom is the ladder itself. You know what I'm saying? You can't get up the ladder without the steps. However, once you take one step, you just move to the next step. And once you only got 2 feet, so you gotta take your foot off that first step in order to get to the third step. Okay? Now, this ladder is falling as you're going up it. And so you have to scurry your ass the fuck and hurry your ass the fuck up that ladder before where you're even getting to on the ladder is now too far away to reach. And you end up dropping with the fucking ladder that is wisdom. Right? You gotta run up the ladder and jump as strong as you can, as fast as you can, to catch that next ledge, that upper ledge of knowledge. Know the ledge, yes? You feel me? You take that first step, fast as you can. But shit, man, you gotta learn as you go. And that's the whole, that's the whole process of improvisation. You gotta learn as you go. You hit that ladder, and then you hit that first step, whoop-de-wop, it's about 13 steps on this ladder. You gotta hit them 13 steps, and sometimes you gotta skip steps, homie. Sometimes you gotta skip as many steps as possible, my G. You understand me? You got to hit that first step, and you're gonna hit the 7th step, homie. Me, I'm gonna take my hands. You going up the ladder, nigga, with your feet? Well, shit, I done grabbed the 13th step, nigga, with my arm, nigga. Pulled my body up. I ain't even put my foot on this ladder, nigga. I done took my 2 hands, homie. Pulled myself up off that top step. Collected my shit like a spider monkey, nigga. Before the ladder even began to drop, nigga. I done came back down the ladder, nigga. Brought your ass up the ladder, nigga. 7 other niggas. Before the ladder even start to fucking drop down now, nigga. And we got ropes, nigga. We done took our clothes off. And we done tied our clothes together. And then we got ropes now, nigga. From the next ledge, nigga. Yeah, I took my top, nigga. I grabbed that top ledge, brother. You understand me? Pulled myself up and you know what I'm saying? Planted my feet on the 12th step. Bounce, nigga, flip, twisted. Nigga flip and landed on the next ledge, man. A nigga like me could have took the ladder with me, cuz.